Ready for an adventure that welcomes everyone? Dive into Cache Odyssey. Cache Odyssey is 6 fully accessible geo tours where every geocache is designed for everyone, regardless of their abilities. Each hidden cache tells a unique story, bringing people together on a journey of discovery. With your support, we can make these inclusive adventures a reality. So, whether you're a seasoned geocacher or a new adventurer, get ready to experience the thrill like never before. Join us in creating truly accessible geotours. Support Cache Odyssey today.
If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's logwerk.com.
Calling all geocachers. At artedcrafted.com, we create unique apparel designed by geocachers for geocachers. From custom t-shirts to personalized mugs, our gear lets you express your passion. Stand out at your next event with artedcrafted.com. artedcrafted.com. Gear up for your next geocaching adventure.
Big thanks to our new patrons, 1 and 7 and SSO JOAT. Thanks to all our patrons for keeping the show on the air, keeping the lights on, paying for everything. We appreciate that because we've got the bills, and it's appreciative that our patrons take care of us. All right, let's get right into tonight's show, and when we bring on co-hosts, and we have a special guest as well, so there they are.
Howdy,
Hey,
howdy.
guys.
Good evening.
So right off the top, we're going to do a little bit of news, and then we've got some updates from Mark. So let me do this. And you've got a few updates for us.
Yeah, we got a couple souvenirs. I don't know if anybody's gotten the Discovering 2025 souvenir yet, but you still have a chance to earn it if you didn't get it. So you can earn it up until January 8th. And really all you have to do for that was finding a geocache, attending any event, completing any Adventure Lab location. So just one location gets it. But yeah, you can get it. I know I attended an event this past weekend. Big shout out to Fishing Gal for hosting it. Awesome event. And I got that souvenir just from attending that event. So that was pretty cool. And I don't know how many people also know there is a Hider 2025 souvenir also available for this year. Oh, and we see Happy Hodag. He said he already got his. So awesome, Happy Hodag. Very cool on that side. But yeah, you can get a Hider 2025 souvenir too. And I don't know how you guys, if you guys have earned yours. Yeah, I did. I did not hide a cache, but I had an event published and I got mine that way. I know.
I have not earned mine yet. I got the 2024 end, 2025 beginning, but I don't have the hider one yet. But I will get it soon.
Oh man, you should get it. You know, I know Jesse and I were talking earlier today. I'm taking a move from the Memphis Mafia playbook with events, where I was at an event this weekend and people were like, "Hey, we need calendar days during these winter months. What do we do?"
There you go.
And yeah, I'm hosting a whole bunch of coffee talk events. So
coffee talk time.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's the way to do it, though, especially for a streak or anything else. If you need something during the winter months, is just meet up. Don't forget events.
Yeah, absolutely. Help each other out with that one for sure.
Now, if
What's
you could
weird
just
is
get 6 other people to help you, you'd be set. Then you'd have one for every day of the week all month, and you'd be good to go.
Yeah. Barbershop Drew, she says, so an event counts? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
what's
Yeah.
weird is I should have gotten one for my Cache Odyssey. It came out on the 3rd, or no, 3rd. When did it come out? Oh no, wait. Nope, it wasn't. It wasn't this year. Never mind.
It came out before the first of the year. Yeah.
Never mind.
You got to go hide another cache now.
I got yeah, I got plenty.
Well, do y'all have one of the community celebration events?
Yeah, I was gonna wait to use mine later in the year, but I've got caches that I'm recycling. I tend to do that anyway around these parts. I'm the only one of the few hiders in this whole area, so I tend to go back through and clear old stuff out and put in new ones. So I'll get that one pretty soon.
Well, Nicole's in the chat room. I saw her this weekend at that event. She was doing the 11-day icon thing because we had a CCE event, a CETO, and a regular event, and then there was a bunch of caches. So she went out and got all those. I was kind of jealous. I've done those a bunch. I've done those days every once in a while, and when you kind of cache out an area, I guess I could do it again now, except for I've got all the weird cache types.
Yeah,
I'm
surprised
when you can string those together.
I'm surprised Nicole was able to get 11. That's quite a few.
Well, there's 3 cache types off the bat, right? And then I would assume labs count too. So, and I know the park where the CETO was, there was like Earth Cache, Where I Go. I think there was, I don't know if there's a puzzle there or not, but there was also a multi and regular traditional cache. So she was well on her way from that already.
Right.
So I know she had it all planned out to do for the day, though.
Dang.
Those are fun days, though. When you take one of those days and all of a sudden, you're going after something like that, it's pretty fun.
Yep. So a real quick update. You want to do the update on Cache Odyssey, John, and we'll get into
absolutely. So Cache Odyssey, big thank you to all the hiders, Geocaching HQ, everybody that made it possible. Cache Odyssey has been going awesome. Right now we have 45 published caches. So you're saying 45 published caches. Shouldn't there be 50, one for each state? We got 5 coming soon. So I think I'm going to correct me if I'm wrong here, but we're waiting on Ohio, Missouri, Kentucky, Alaska, and Hawaii. So all of those will be coming soon. Just sometimes they take a lot of work. They take a little bit of planning, have to work through a little red tape, make sure the situation's right. So all of those are going to be out there. But believe it or not, guys, this is 1 week of Cache Odyssey underneath our belt, right? And the caches have already earned over 262 favorite points. Can you believe that?
I know, it's wild.
It's really impressive.
Yeah, it's so cool. I know I had Nancy from Maine area. She came to Western New York. It was awesome to see her, and people are just so excited about Cache Odyssey on this one. And I'm excited too to actually get the closest Cache Odyssey to Cache Odyssey New York. Gary and Jesse, do you know where that is?
I do. I was about to say, if Maine, if she came all the way to see you, that's a hike to get to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
I've only really looked at the South region because that's the closest I'm going to get for right now.
I'm guessing that it's over this guy's way is your closest.
That's right. Yeah, Morgantown, West Virginia is the closest one to Cache Odyssey, New York.
Have you seen on the, because I keep checking the leaderboard because I can't help it. Have you seen that there's 2 people that have already found 7 of them, 7 states already?
Yeah.
And we have a 6 and a 5 and then some 4s and 3s below that. I'm like,
incredible.
People are trucking it already.
I received a message from the show from somebody, and I'm not going to spill their beans. I'm going to let them do that. But they think in the next day or 2, they're going to have the whole Northeast done.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's 11 states, man. That's 11 states. And
that's a lot. The first one to get the souvenir, too.
Yeah, and 11 states. And the weather up at the Northeast, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to it. it hasn't been great weather. It's been really crummy weather too.
Wow.
That's dedication right there. That's we always knew that there, a lot of cachers cache normally, and then some are insane. And that just, they're always going to be, no matter what challenge you put in front of them, there's going to be that small percentage out there that they just go. They're like, oh yeah, I'll cover the whole United States in a week or two. No problem.
But their energy, I love their energy.
Oh, I do too. Well, that's what motivates a lot of the others. You're like, yeah, I might want to do that. I'm not really going to do that, but it sounds cool to think I might want to do it. So they inspire us for those things.
Absolutely. And I'm going to post a link to the Cache Odyssey leaderboard. Big shout out again to Retired Guy and Sloth 96 for putting that together. So I'm posting this in the chat right now. So if anybody wants to check on that one, they did an awesome job on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Happy Hodag on here too said he even had a guy from Germany come and find his.
Yep.
Which I think the guy actually found Hailmeister's cache too that he had for Cache Odyssey.
Oh, wow.
How cool was that?
Oh, wow. Speaking of Morgantown, which you said a minute ago, you like my segue?
Yeah, I love the segue, Gary. Love the
Nobody
segue.
picked up on it at all. It was so smooth.
Yeah. Sort of abrupt segue. Mark's with us tonight, and Mr. Troop Biz, he's going to give us updates on what is happening with GeoWoodstock. So you take it away. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with the Cache Odyssey since we're talking on that vein. So the Cache Odyssey for West Virginia is about 15 minutes south of where the main event for GeoWoodstock 21 is going to be. So we can't wait to welcome everyone to the Mountain State, and that's going to be a great introduction. It's right off the interstate at a nice little park. With some rustic, colonial looking cabins. So super cool place. Make sure to put that on your to-do list while you're in the area for GeoWoodstock. But I promise it's going to be a very busy weekend. So there's going to be a lot of things to do and probably not enough time to do them in. So there's 5 days of the official event. And in those 5 days, we have 10 events. So we are kicking things off on Thursday morning, and they're going to go all the way till Sunday evening. So our hope is that people will, travel in a few days early, whether that's checking out the New River Gorge National Park, which is the 63rd and newest national park in the country in the southern half of the state, or going over to the Eastern Panhandle and finding West Virginia's Thames famous gadget caches. So lots of fun adventures to have that whole week as you make your way into Morgantown. And then we're going to kick it off with some side events. So I'm going to kind of roll through
a lot of side events.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. So Thursday morning, we are kicking things off with the Country Roads Challenge event. That is going to be at Cooper's Rock State Park, kind of on the east side of Morgantown. So this is a really famous park in West Virginia. It has awesome views of the Cheat River. And that's where we're going to, kind of get things started with a 10 cache poker run style activity where people can participate in. So if you buy your registration packet of Cardinal or higher, those registration packets are going to have a passport in them that if you find all 10 caches that are going to take you to historical business locations and recreational opportunities, if you go to all 10 of these locations, get your stamp, you're going to get a coin for free, courtesy of Visit Mountaineer Country.
Oh, cool.
So if you don't purchase a registration packet, you can still participate in the experience. It's just first come, first serve for any coins that we have left over after that. So if you want to participate in the Country Roads Challenge, challenge, and make sure the coin is waiting for you there at the end. Make sure you register and you buy a package, and we'll get that passport there waiting for you so you can get started. The challenge will be available all weekend. So whether you pick your passport up on Thursday morning or you don't get started until Saturday, the caches will be there all weekend, and you'll be able to pick up your coin at any point throughout the weekend.
Cool. What's interesting too, and I know you're going to move on to the next one, which is that a lot of times CETOs are at the end of events, but you've got this one coming up, CETO the Line, on the same day, right?
Yes, on Thursday evening, we're heading over to Mason-Dixon Historical Park. And this is the last point that Mason and Dixon personally surveyed on the Mason-Dixon line. So if you look at the state of West Virginia, the border between West Virginia and Pennsylvania is a perfectly straight line. And that's going to be the Mason-Dixon line. So right here in Morgantown is actually the last point that was officially surveyed on the line. And I think, once you get to Morgantown and you see the hill that this point is on, you'll understand why that's the last point they decided to turn around at that point.
That was enough.
It's very steep. But we're partnering with the park to do some environmental reclamation efforts around the park. And one of the things with this would be parking and the logistics of how many people we can have help and park, and the logistics of moving people around. So that's why it's going to be earlier in the week than typical other Woodstocks.
Right.
And then that evening, we're going to have a normal event at that same park with some authentic Appalachian music. So everyone's encouraged to bring their lawn chair, bring a blanket, and hopefully we'll have a pretty evening under the stars where we can hang out with our caching friends and listen to some like bluegrass folk music.
Very cool.
Nice. Yeah.
That's just all Thursday. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the first day. Just getting started.
Just getting started though.
On Friday, we have a lot of different things going on. So we'll start with the side event. So we're partnering with the local scouting organization here in North Central West Virginia to have a zip line and a rock climbing wall type setup. So we're really encouraging people to bring that wild and wonderful to our Almost Heavens Adventures event. And then there is a 32-piece Where I Go geo art in Fairmont. And that is going to be called the Float Trail. So it stands for Fairmont Land or Aquatic Trail. So there's, I think it's 23, 24 caches on the river. And then there's 8 caches on like the land hiking, biking portion. So you can do either of those 2 sections and you get a path tag at the end, which is pretty cool. So zip lining, rock climbing, kayaking, hiking, biking, do it all Friday morning. So
awesome.
I like it.
And then at the same time that this event is going to be going on, the main venue for GeoWoodstock is going to be open, so you can pick up your registration packet. You can shop the vendors, you can look at our exhibitors, and you can also tour the GPS Adventures Maze, which is going to be making an appearance at GeoWoodstock 21, which we are very, very excited about.
The maze returns to the world, as it were.
Well, and I gotta say, go ahead and get in there early too, because people are going to be lining up for that. So if you're there Friday morning, go ahead and get in early, because the lines do get long with those mazes.
Yeah, it's a rarity.
And some people may not know, if you don't have the GPS maze icon, this is your chance to get it. Like, I don't have it myself.
Yeah.
So I got to do this. I got to get that icon,
Yeah.
Now,
it's
even if you have it, you can get it again, right?
Yeah, you can get it, but you can't get it.
Even if you don't have, if you don't have it, obviously you need it. But if you do have it, you can still go and do it. You can still get it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people don't get the opportunity. This is a great opportunity to get it.
Absolutely.
So from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., that is going to be VIP and Friends of Woodstock exclusive. So like Jesse said, if you don't want to wait in line and you want to get in and get all your swag and get out early, consider being a friend of GeoWoodstock, considering purchasing a VIP package. There's a lot of benefits that come with that, including VIP parking at most of these side events. So definitely, consider that as you're making your plans. And then at 10 a.m., general, admission, anyone can come and tour the maze and those sort of fun things. So a lot of stuff happening on Friday as well.
Very cool.
And then in the evening, we're having an event on like the waterfront wharf district here in Morgantown. So this is where a lot of your breweries and like authentic, Appalachian, style restaurants those sort of things are. So we have an escape room that we're partnering with. There's currently 4 games, and they're telling me there might be some more games, put in before May. So lots of escape room adventures, and we're also doing like a team trivia, geocaching trivia type thing there as well. So a lot of events or a lot of activities to do at that Woodstock on the Wharf, and that's going to be your community celebration event for the weekend. So if you're looking for icons, collecting those icons, that's definitely going to be one to hit up.
Very cool.
So you've already got your CETO, your regular event, your maze, and your community celebration event, and we haven't even got to the the mega yet.
That's right. Jesse, it's going giga. It's going giga. Everybody,
I can say that. He can't, but I can. So it's okay.
I don't know what that word means, Jesse. I'm sorry.
He doesn't. Yeah.
I just mispronounced mega. It's okay. Go ahead.
No, it's going giga, man. It's going giga. Okay. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is going giga. It's around 2,000. I don't want to steal Mark spill his beans, but I think we're just a few hundred Willitens shy from going.
Yeah, we're at 2,700 Willitens right now, which is 300 away from a completely arbitrary number that means nothing. But that event is going to be on Saturday, May 24th, 2025 at Milan Park in Morgantown, West Virginia. So this is it. Like, this is the whole big thing that everything's leading up to. If you can only come for one day, come for this Saturday, because it's going to be, a remarkable day of geocaching. We have an all-star team of speakers lined up. Everyone from West Virginia Tim to these guys are going to be talking about Cache Odyssey. So lots of great information, whether you've found 100,000 caches or this is going to be your first one. There's going to be something to learn. So we'll get ready to publish those speaker schedules here towards the end of the month, so you can kind of pick and choose which speakers you're interested in. This is also going to be when our lunch is. So in the registration packages of Black Bear or Mountaineer, along with the a la carte add-on item, we're going to have pepperoni rolls and West Virginia hot dogs for lunch, which is staples here in West Virginia. So we're very excited to expose everyone to some West Virginia cuisine here.
Love some pepperoni rolls.
Oh man, you guys are getting me hungry. Now, Mark, there was a very important question in the chat too that came through from my good friend Pathfinder 33. He said, "Do they have pickle pizza in the Ward District or near GeoWoodstock?"
That's a great question. I don't see why not. So I'm going to assume yes, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, loving this.
They have pizza though. There is good pizza in the Wharf District.
Awesome.
Perfect. Yeah,
so
really looking forward.
Along Saturday night, after everything at the main event wraps up, we're going to head to downtown WVU campus, which is the university, West Virginia University, here in town, to our student union, which is called the Mountain Layer, for our Midnight Madness event. And this is going to be themed about all the cryptids you could find in Appalachia. So think your Mothman, your Bigfoot, your Flatwoods Monster. We're going to explore all of those as we head into the layer for the largest path tag, coin, and travel bug trading event in North America. So very excited to welcome everyone. We're going to have like a game show, Family Feud style between lackeys and like influencers. We're going to have geocoin poker and some LCR path tag games. So a lot of stuff happening at this Midnight Madness. There's bowling and like billiards and stuff in the lower levels. So if you don't have any path tags or you don't have anything to trade, you can still come and have a great time.
Cool.
That is a lot.
That is awesome. And
that's just a side event. That's not even the main event.
There's more.
Yeah. Wait, there's more.
If you're not tired enough from staying up until midnight, you can join us on Sunday morning for our breakfast with the Mamas event. We're having pancake breakfast, cooked and sponsored by the local scouting organization that's letting us use their zip line on Friday. So great, community tie in there. And that's going to be down in Marion County, West Virginia, which is about 15-20 minutes south of Morgantown. And the reason why this is significant is because this is going to be home of the Middle of Everywhere Geo Tour, an officially registered Geo Tour with HQ, that if you find 20 out of the 25 caches, you'll have the opportunity to get a coin And then if you find all 25 out of 25 of these caches, you'll be able to get the digital souvenir for your profile.
Cool.
Nice.
So this coin can be picked up at the Farewell from the Fort event, which is our last event of the evening. We're going to explore an 18th century reconstructed fort with live historical actors. So you'll get to see, real life blacksmiths welding metal. You'll get to see what life was like in the early days of, West Virginia. You'll get to speak with these people, interact with the different exhibits, and complete some adventure labs around the grounds too. Before
that's awesome.
we all sing One Big Country Roads and send everyone farewell until wherever we're going next year.
Yeah. Well, it's incredible. You guys have set up such a great.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it is awesome.
Yeah, it's important.
Well planned. It's awesome.
Yes, thank you. It's important to stress the fact that all these experiences, all the side events, all the giveaways that we're doing, everything is completely funded through registration and through the generosity of our geocaching community. So none of this would be possible without obviously having everyone come. So if you haven't registered yet, registration is going to close at the end of this month. So you only have about 4 more weeks. We have 5 registration options, registering or ranging from free to VIP. There's a lot of coins, including Signal on a zip line, which is a movable coin, which is really, really cool. T-shirts, drawstring bags, path tags, like you name it, something that you like is going to be in one of these packages. So please consider taking a look at all these packages, figuring out what's best for you. And then for each individual person in your party that plans on attending, register them, even if it's the free option. So let's say if it's a whole family, and you want a free or a VIP, you want the top tier, you want all the swag, but your kids might not care about all the gadgets and stuff. Still register them at that free level, because that's what's going to help us keep track of our numbers. And that is going to be so important as we move into these final months of planning. Because if you don't like long lines and you don't like, wandering around a parking spot or a parking lot looking for a spot, this is the time to, really help us help you. It's really, really important. And if everyone could just take a minute and do that, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah. And Mark, what you're saying is people got to log those will attends and register, right? So not just register, because I think before the show you said there's like a couple hundred people who have registered but not done their will attend. So people got to do both.
Yeah,
and
it helps out a lot.
The way I think of it, like your will attend is you're like, I'm interested, I want more information, I hope to make it. And your registration is like, pulling the trigger, officially saying that you will be there. But both are very equally important. And, registration closes sooner rather than later. So don't delay. Put that at the top of your priority list. Make sure you get that done.
Absolutely. Yeah. People need to realize that it helps both. It helps you as an attendee to get your ducks in order, but it also helps the team that's setting everything up, because it's so important for the team to know and to, the bills don't come due that day. Bills come due, they're already needing to pay for things. So if people can get the registrations early, it helps them to get things done properly. So there's really a dual thing going on here. So it is very important. And, as Electric Water Boy always said too, is like, I don't necessarily need the coins. It's like, or the swag. It's like, well, get the registration, get the VIP, and then you can give away stuff like that later. But you want to be able to get your, pay for your main stuff, your VIP stuff. So
here's a question here for you. It's a common question.
Yes. So all of our information and policies regarding swag purchasing and pickup is going to be listed on our website on that register page. But if you are unable to attend in person, you're more than welcome to have a designee pick up your swag for you. We'll just need some sort of like written approval from you to that person saying that they're okay to pick up your swag, whether that's a text or an email or something, handwritten. Doesn't really matter what it is. But as long as we have some verification that that person can pick up your stuff for you, they're more than welcome to do so and then take it back for you.
Very cool. Well, man, we so appreciate you coming on, and we're looking forward to the whole thing, but we're also looking forward to I know that we're going to, fortunately, Geocache Talk's going to be involved. We've been fortunate enough to be asked to be part of the speakers. So looking forward to seeing the whole speaker group list. We've got some challenge talk also going to be, I think, part of this, as well as we're going to do some Cache Odyssey with some other Cache Odyssey folks. So this will be great.
Yeah, you can't fit anything more into this week. There's no way.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So Mark, on this one, like what day do you think people should get there for the optimal experience at GeoWoodstock?
Right. So it really depends on what you're looking to do. If you're really into the geo tours and the Country Roads Challenge, that's going to take several hours to do those things. So I would recommend getting there Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. So then you can wake up and you'll be good to go for that first event. But I would also say don't try to make every single one of these events if there's something else that you want to do. If you want to go kayaking on the Monongalia River, if you want to do our challenge trail, there's a challenge trail of 50 caches. If you want to do the West Virginia State Star Geo Art, there's a lot of different things that you want to do. So take a look at this list, see what interests you the most, and then prioritize your caching too. A lot of people want to travel outside of Morgantown. They'll want to see the rest of the state too. So, maybe if there's a day on this list where, the side events might not, fit whatever you're looking to do, that's okay. You don't have to attend every single event. There's going to be lots of official activities to do. So you're not going to be able to do it all. So just pick what you really, really want to do. But Wednesday to Sunday or Monday is going to be your best bet to have the full experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Mark, again, thank you so much, my friend. And we look forward to hearing more and getting any updates on GeoWoodstock. Definitely let us know. We'll pass it along.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark.
Have a good one.
And so we're switching to the other topic now, which is Gary's favorite thing in the world.
But before we do that, though,
okay,
everybody should log their will attends to GeoWoodstock.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate.
You don't want to miss on a Giga. I mean, if let's be honest.
Close.
He's not on here, so we can't get him in trouble now.
Yeah,
it's gonna go Giga, so you want to go. Don't miss a Giga because your co-host will bully you for the next 4 years. I can tell you this from experience.
I think you have to do that. Friends don't let friends miss gigas.
That's right.
And if they do, you need to give them a good razzing. I think that's part of it.
For years, apparently.
Yeah. And more years to come.
Absolutely. All right. Let's get into some Cache Tour. And I'm going to pre-say something.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to pre-say that there is a lot. There's a lot about Cache Tour. So this is not the comprehensive be-all, end-all training. That would take hours and hours. But we're going to give you sort of the basics again, a little, and some tips and tricks. We want you to get into using the tools, because once you get into it and use it, you'll start to realize how awesome it is. And that's the important thing. So I don't want to overwhelm you.
Don't you, Gary?
What's it? Go ahead.
You use it pretty often now, don't you?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
You use the tool pretty frequently now.
Yep. Yeah. I use it for any kind of trip. You want to use it for that, but also, if you're going to do a bunch of caches in an area, Like if you're going to do a geo tour or you're going to go out with your friends and you're going to do 20 or 30 caches in a day, whatever you're doing or more or whatever, then this, even though you're not really traveling very far, you might be just in town or you're a town over, you want to use it because it's so great at planning out your day. So that's very important. So a couple things about Cache Tour that I want to point out.
Okay.
One is that there's two aspects to it. There's the website, cachetur.no, and we're going to pull that up now. But I also want to talk about the app. And the app is available both on Android and iPhones. So it's called Cache Tour. Go back out. You can go to it's cachetur.no because it's the site's in Norway. So some of my apps there. So called cachetur.no. You see it there. And so you want to get the app because think of the website as your planning, and then when it's all set and ready to go, you then will upload it to your phone, and you can have trips on the phone. I currently have 2 trips on here. One's already done, but the retired guys is me and my buddy. We went to Paris, Texas, and did a trip. And I've got my Motley Cache and Crew this Saturday, and I've got our trip available on there. So as you'll see, once you set it up, and I'll show you tonight how you'll set it up. But you can set it up, and then you can have sort of a timeline. See if I get it to work right. Oop. Where am I get the timeline to work right? So I can get to focus. There we go. See how see how it shows a list of caches and it has times. So those aren't times that I created. Cache Tour creates the time. The cool thing about it is it's pretty accurate, surprisingly accurate, because it's doing 2 things. It's figuring out the distance to the next cache. It also takes into effect the difficulty in the terrain of the cache, and it calculates for you how much time it is going to take on average, obviously, but it's going to try to give you a guesstimate. And it's a pretty accurate guesstimate. It really is, of how much time it's going to take you out that cache. We have one on our list for this coming weekend. It's a 4.5, 4. I'm trying to recall. Let me pull it up real quick. I can tell you. And it's figuring an hour. So obviously it's a 4. It's a 4-4. And based on all my readings, it does appear that it's going to take an hour. And so it knows that. It again, I didn't figure that, but it's figuring 4-4. It's got multi stages, so there's some more work that has to get done. You can't just walk up to the final. So it's figuring an hour. I think that's pretty accurate from what I've seen on that. Yeah. So again, cachetur.no. Let's pull it up and let's get into planning a trip.
Up, Gary, let me ask you a question about the app, because I've had the app before and I've used the website before too. But logistically, how do you work the app and Cachely when you're out caching, and like maps and stuff like that? How do you navigate between all those things?
So what I do is, again, the website will be, you go into the website and you get your route planned.
Yeah.
And then you download it to your phone. And then of course you're on the road, so you use your phone. And so what I do is every time that you complete the list on your cache, there's an option on there for arrival and departure.
Uh-huh.
So I mark it as arrived and departed.
Okay.
So for example, I'll go ahead and do the first one. It shows that I arrived at that cache. You can reset it too, but
yeah,
it shows I arrived at the cache,
Uh-huh.
and then it shows that I departed when I push departed. And so now it shows the top one is done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I bring up the next one, and at the bottom it will tell you, get it to focus right. It'll tell you the where you're at, like how it's coming along.
Right, but how do you switch back and forth between that and cache to your navigation, or what do you do?
Yeah, so when you pull up a cache,
it doesn't navigate for you, does it?
Yeah, well, it will. Yeah, so
Okay.
so I'm in Cache Tour right now,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to tell it at the bottom. It has an option for open. I know it may not be focusing on it, but it's hard to see.
Yeah, it's not focusing, but that's okay.
That's okay. There's the button in the middle is for open.
Okay.
And for me, it opens Cachely because that's where it's going to go for me is Cachely.
Okay.
And then from there, you're in Cachely. So then you do your normal, do your normal thing in there, and then when you're done, then you just go back to, cachetur.no, and you keep on going. So you go on the next one. So that's
okay.
Yeah, that's how I kind of go back and forth. Is so like right now it says that it's 20 caches. It tells you how many caches remain at the bottom, and tells you if you're on schedule or not on schedule. Although I always joke with the guys, I always say we're behind schedule, and they're like, "Give us a break. We're just going to go through because we're just going to do the caches. We're not really worried about time there." But
so does this solve the problem where you're like, I got 5 hours before I got to do something? What can I actually?
Yeah.
How many caches can I actually grab in 5 hours?
Yeah, you could definitely do that. That's good thinking, for sure.
I like it.
Well, because sometimes
this solve the problem of wanting to find just one more cache, because that's my problem when I go out. Just one more.
So let's go create one. So let me switch the screen a little bit to kind of help with folks. Let's do this. Sorry guys, I'm going to kick us all out, not all out, but kick us to the screen. All right, so Cache Tour, a couple things I want to point out off the top. One is that they are they're dependent on financial contributions. So my approach for this is I treat Cache Tour like I treat Project GC, and I treat Geocaching HQ or geocaching.com. is I give them a donation every year, hoping that everybody else will also do the same, because I use it a lot. As you can see, I've got a lot of trips in here that haven't been done. These are all upcoming trips. These are all drafts. If I go to ended trips, I've probably got, I don't know, let's see how many ended trips I've got. Got quite a few.
That's a lot. You're using this frequently.
Yes, it goes on, and so I've loved it for a long time. How long? Loved it since 2019. 2019. Let's see. Yeah, 2019. So anyway, trips I've participated in. So it's awesome. It really is. So I've got a bunch of drafts. Let's create a new draft and let's get started on creating one of these. So we're going to create a new trip right here.
And you can share this with other people too, like in your group, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You can get interactions down here, down below here. There's a group connection. You can create a group, like my Motley Caching Crew group is here. You can create a group, then you can add them. I haven't got, again, I'm a what do you want? It's not advanced user, something between beginning and intermediate. I guess I'm an intermediate user. I haven't learned a lot of the things that are in here, but I want to show you all tonight how you can use it. And then from there, I want you to regularly use Cache Tour. And then from there, you can start to learn all the other tools, because there's so much in here. I don't want to overwhelm you with everything that's in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a big tool with a lot of options for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot. So for now, ignore all the extra stuff. We'll get into some of those at a later date. Do some more videos on this, but let's start with the basics. So I'm going to do a trip name. I want to do all the Cache Odyssey in the Northeast. So Northeast Cache Odyssey trip. So we're going to do the Northeast Cache Odysseys. Also, there's hiking trips, bike trips, ski trips, boat trips. We're not going to get into all that. Plane trips. I'm not sure about, but we're doing a car trip. Destination we'll put John's house.
That's an official location. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. John's house somewhere in New York. So that's good.
That's up in Canada. We do international too, or just in America?
Yeah, we could. So
yeah, we're 13 miles south of the border, Jesse.
Trip's not yet decided,
It's
so we're
metric,
just going to
though.
put
It didn't count.
Yeah. These are all day trips. We don't have a trip decided yet on that.
Now, Gary, you kind of skipped over that time there, but is that the time you need to set it if like you actually think you're going to do it, or will that reset in the app when you leave?
This is really kind of based on, I've always put it as an all day. So the time part's ignored. You can set a date for when you want to start this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. So we put tomorrow, and it's going to go for the next 10 days or whatever. So, I don't really, I put them as all day, I guess, is because I want to get into the times within the app or further in.
You adjust that in the app.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't really adjust here. I don't get
Okay.
into the durations or the links but there's other information on here, but again,
You're just building a basic one tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
We're just going to build a real easy, and again, I want everybody to start using it. That's the key, because I think everybody will enjoy and really get benefit from this. I know a lot of people have started using this. I taught Captain Math how to use it for his trips, and he's pretty happy with it. So there are several users of Cachetur that are out there, I know. So I'm not the only, and I'm, like I said, by no means an expert. I'm a intermediate user, hopefully someday more an advanced, but it works for me. Now, waypoints. You can add waypoints one at a time right here.
Mm-hmm.
You can go in and put a geocache. I put in lodging if I'm going to be like on the road. I'll put in those kind of things. You can put amazing amounts of stuff in here. Waymarks, benchmarks. You can put all your geocaching adventure labs in here. You can put everything, but we're not going to do that because we're going to import. So I want to show you tonight the way to do it if you're wanting to do something specific. I'm going to import my waypoints. You can import them from several places. You can import from GPX files, from a bookmark list, which I've done that very often. You can import it from a pocket query. You can import the lab caches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You can,
Really cool.
You can like search for all the lab caches in an area and import all that. There are so many things in here. There, add an RV site. I mean, this, again, it goes on and on. We're going to import from a GPX file because I downloaded the Northeast GPX file for Cache Odyssey. So let's bring that in. We're going to import that.
Which you could have just done by a bookmark list as well, right?
Correct.
It would work the same.
I use bookmark. I've done that with bookmark lists as well.
Yeah.
This one's
you showed
already
me that in the past. I haven't done the GPX yet.
Yeah, this one's already pre-built, so I'm going to put this one in. So it even gives you these kind of items, which is like the parking lot for one of the caches. It gives you an information sign for one of the caches. Nice. So incredible. But for tonight, virtual stages for things. I mean, but again, we're going the quick and dirty routes, so we're going to take these out for right now. But I just want you to know that they're available. So we're going to go ahead and remove those just for tonight because I want to give you all the shortened version of this. Okay. Now, there is a lot. You will be overwhelmed. It's sort of like Project GC. You'll be overwhelmed quickly by everything below it. The cache stats, the regions, which is very important if you're doing county caching.
Yeah.
Because it lists all the counties. So, if you're needing a particular county, it's going to tell you what the counties are. It also tells you the count. So if you are planning a trip and you've got, you want to do, say, 2 per county, and you look and you've got 4 for Frederick County in Maryland, you got the number here is 4. You're like, oh, I sort of overplanned Frederick County. You can change that. So you can see that. Elevations, the size of the caches is in here. How many favorite points, difficulties. It's got a terrain. It's got the fizzy grid right here for you.
I'll do a Jasmer list. Yeah, there you go.
It's got Jasmer. Wow. It's got the place months in here.
Those don't really apply on this list, unfortunately. But
yeah, I mean, this is awesome. You can see immediately if you have in your cache tour the correct placed months that you're trying to accomplish. So that's that.
I wish I'd have had this when I first started doing my Jasmer tours, my Jasmer loops.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It
tells you like, yeah, absolutely. Gives you all that. If you're looking for certain attributes, right? I mean, that's another thing people do is they want to, if you want to finish out your attributes, this will tell you the ones you're going to hit, both the positive and the negative attributes. And then the map. So the map's going to look wrong for right now. And this is something I want to talk about.
A little bit wrong.
A little bit wrong. Because we just imported it, it's not updated.
You're saying that's not the route you would take?
That's not. This is not the Barry and Jesse tour.
Oh, okay. See, you got to get all the counties there, so.
I'm kidding. Let me hit reset and see if it's started to build a tour or build a route. Okay, it kind of built a route, but kind of not. So what I want to do is for tonight, we're going to assume that we're flying in. John's picking us up.
Yep, with pizza in hand to meet you guys.
Right, with pizza in hand. He's going to drive us. He's going to chauffeur us to all the caches in the Northeast Geo Tour, which is pretty awesome of him to do.
Yeah,
for you guys, absolutely.
And so we're going to set it up to make it a round, so that when we finish, we're going to come back to his place, and then we can fly home, and he give us a pizza for the road. So, so we're going to fix this. One thing I'm going to do is notice that currently New York is set for as number 7. So what I want to do is I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to take number 7, New York. And I'm going to put it I'm going to move it up to the top, and I'm going to save the sorting on that. The next thing I'm going to do, since we're making a loop, is I'm going to clone that one. And you don't have, the only reason and I do this, by the way, not with caches. Where's the clone button? Clone. Where am I missing clone? It's usually right on here. Somewhere.
I've seen that in there before.
Yeah, I'm missing it somewhere. I'll figure it out in a minute. I think you have to maybe right click on it. Nope. Oh, it might be in here. No? Huh. I'll find it in a minute. Anyway, so let me do let's not recalculate yet. So New York. So first thing I want to do also, so a lot of times I'll take where we're going, like where we're starting and stopping. We use Buc-ee's a lot of time as our place that we start from. We all meet at Buc-ee's, then kick off. I'll clone that location. That way I make a sort of a big loop. I'm going to loop around.
I usually do that with lodging or wherever my our starting destination is.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're taking, or if you're just going one direction, for your trip, that's fine too. You don't have to do that. We're going to make a loop just because sometimes you want to make a loop and you want to get back home. So, but New York's our starting point. What we're going to do is we're going to prioritize these waypoints. You can sort them. I don't know why you'd ever sort alphabetically, but you could, in theory, I guess. You can reverse the order of them, so you don't have to go through and manually do it. If you just want to reverse the whole order, you can click reverse order. We're going to sort by distance from start. It's not going to be perfect yet, and I'll show you what we'll do to fix that. So we're going to sort by distance. So it's sorted by, so the order is one way you can do it. You can sort by the distance. But we're gonna fix them, and I'll show you how easy it is. Or there's probably a quicker way to do it, but I like to sort them. Again, I'm an intermediate user, so I know my next stop is going to be 5, and then 9. So 1, 5, 9 is my next, is the first 3. So I just come up here, pretty simple. Take number 5. I'm going to move it up, go into Vermont, and then we're going to Maine. And I'm going to save the sorting. It's always important to save the sorting. We'll order a new route calculation in a moment, but I want to make sure I get all my caches set up. So 159, then it's 8764. 8764. Am I missing something? Where's 5?
That's what it looks like to me. That's if you're doing it manually, that's the way we do it. 876432.
432. 876. Oh, 5 is the other one. Okay. 8764. So we go back here. We do 8, 7, 6. Oh,
so you're just dragging them out. 6. There's a way to do this automatically too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little tricky.
It should optimize your route for you, right? If you have a start and an end,
it will optimize the route, but sometimes it's I like to look at the route and determine whether I think it's is the way that we're wanting to go. And sometimes
Lori's saying if you have a start and end, then you can optimize your route. It's at the bottom of sorting. So there may be a button to save some time too.
You can. The trick with distance, though, is that you want to make sure that your distance is. You don't always want to prioritize the distance from your current location, because the distance from one to the last one is different. So it's starting to build it. It'll be fixed here in a minute. It takes it a couple minutes to get it all cleared out.
You have to order a new route calculation, don't you?
I did, but it'll take a moment. So we're going this way, 7, and then from we'll go back to 1. So, all right. So you can order new route calculation. Some of the items under trip, you can create sub trips. You can do all sorts of things. But order new route calculation, and then if you'll notice up here, there's a button that tells you that certain things have been done. It sends you messages. So I always mark them as red when you're done. Calculated the route is complete. So I mark it all red. Get a reset of the website, and then let's go see how we're coming. Where we're coming along. So there we go. So basically,
built it. It looks like 6 and 5 should probably be switched.
5 and 6. Yeah, we just need to flip. We'll flip them real quick. So 5 and 6 are in the wrong spots, which makes sense. Massachusetts, Rhode Island. And then where's my little clone button?
Clone button's on there, but I don't think it's right there. It's somewhere else.
No, it's weird. Okay, let me save the sorting. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add a waypoint. because we're going to add another waypoint. So we're going to add a waypoint, geocache. We're going to add New York. It adds it to the list, and of course, in this case, it put us at the bottom. Did somebody DNF your cache today, John?
Yeah, I had somebody DNF at the first DNF. So I just noticed that, and
were they not open? Maybe.
Oh no! This cache is outside and available.
Oh, well, it's hard to find though. It's a little tricky.
It's a little tricky. It's one of those things. Whenever you design a cache, sometimes it's funny. You design it a certain way, and then you think like this is going to be pretty obvious, but for people, it's not always obvious on this one.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna double check and make sure it's there because I want to make sure it's all in good shape for people to find. So
yep. So some of the information that is on here, obviously it shows you what the last cache information was as DNF. Some of these will have it has a little road sign, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. Notice Maine, Rhode Island, and Delaware have child waypoints, which is important to note because you may want to travel to the waypoint instead because there might be a reason
parking and such.
Yeah, exactly. Or a virtual stage of some type, so that's important. New Hampshire is currently disabled. So it marks that. You can see that right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. It's also got the icon of what these are all letterbox hybrids, so they won't always look like the letterbox. So it's just a point there. It gives you these times. We're going to get into the times here in a minute because I know we're getting close to running out of time, but I want to show you another trick that I love.
Have you got the map updated now so we can see if it's?
Yeah, we should have a full route now. So let's go down to the route. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool there.
8 and 9, we're going to fix that. But 7 should go 8. It should go 9, 8, and then back to 10. So we'll fix that real quick. Yeah.
There's always a little tweaking to be done.
Little tweaking. If you're in town, you kind of plan, again, sort of the same kind of deal is that I like to, we like to plan. I like to plan out the route and then put in other things like lunch or, if you're going, I use this course for Texas for all the, the caches for, the 254 counties in Texas.
Yeah.
You kind of want to, you want to get it all on there. One of the other things that is important, let's see how it came out, or one of the tricks that I like to use, and we'll kind of wrap up with that. Again, there's a lot of cool things in here. It's easy to use. There's just a lot, but again, just get the basics down and you'll be happy. We're going to mark it as red because we're done on that. Notice it says 10. That's because it's 1 and 10. It's on the same one. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it goes all the way around.
How long does it say that whole trip's going to take you, Gary?
Good question. So up here, it's going to give you the times. The total distance is right there. It calculates
almost 1,500 miles. That's a lot.
Yep. It calculates the drive time without stopping.
Ooh, 31 hours.
A day, 6 hours, 50 minutes. And then it calculates the driving time with stops. It's a day, 8 hours, 20 minutes, 47 seconds.
Yeah, that doesn't include stopping for sleeping and eating and gas.
Well, yeah.
That's stopping for caches.
Sleeping? Who's sleeping?
This
is like Jesse and Barry driving together, taking shifts, right?
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
go.
Yeah, it's them. It's them just hitting the road and taking full advantage of the rental.
That's right. Which one of those caches are we going to sleep at? That's what we need to know. In the car on the side of the road.
Exactly. Elevation gains could be important. In our world, we got mountains to think about here too. So, now here's the last trick I want to give you for tonight.
All right.
And that is over here. you have to kind of see this button. So there's that button,
Mhm.
which we've seen. There's a lot of information obviously under each one, so not going to get into that. But you notice if I hover, there's a button that's kind of hidden.
Mhm.
It's this one. Now, I'm going to put in an artificial time because we're going to get up bright and early. John's going to give us some breakfast pizza.
Yeah,
And we're going to
absolutely.
we're hitting the road at 6 a.m. Okay,
A little bit late, but yeah, go ahead.
a little late,
Yeah,
but we're
this
going to
this
hit the
isn't
road
like
at 6
when I
a.m.
met Jesse at like 3 in the morning. But yeah,
That's right.
So what Cache Tour is going to do, it's going to go, oh, you have a specific time that you're wanting to put in here. I'm going to calculate based on that. So we'll give it a moment. Let me hit the reset button. Now, notice what it did. It added the times right there for every cache, and it shows us when we should be back at John's place. So it thinks we could do at 6 a.m. if we left John's place and we left at 6 a.m. We will be in Connecticut at 1:13 in the next day, and by the time we get to Delaware, Maryland, and back to good old Fredonia, New York, we should be back there about 2 o'clock in the morning.
That sounds easy. That's a weekend. That's nothing.
yeah,
There you
let's do
go.
it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's a quick. Now, what I want to show you all next is let me stop sharing. So one of the things that I want to finish with is that we built all that, right?
Mhm.
I want to put it onto my phone. So you basically create a free. It's a free account. You create a free account on cachetur.no. You download the free app. Again, they're free, but I really encourage people to think of Cache Tour as Project GC. Think of it as this is one of my items that I need to pay for every year. I pay for Project GC. I pay for geocaching.com. I want to include that. I think you should. Hopefully, you'll just include. It's a cheap addition to your sport. Your hobby is to pay for Cache Tour. So remember earlier I showed I currently only have one downloaded, which is my MCC for the week this coming week.
Mhm.
So I'm going to click on, or I'm going to pull down and let it reset, and it should come up with my next trip. Or
You have to go back to the first page.
these are active. Yeah, I have to go back and download it. So let me set real quick. I'm going to tell it that I'm going to do this trip tomorrow. So I'm going to change the time.
Here's the
on the
south
trip.
the south tour right there.
Yeah, I got the South Tour listed as well.
Wow.
I'm going to
There you go.
set.
I'm ready to go do it from my house all the way back to my house.
I do. I've got one set up for that.
Oh, do you? Wow.
Yeah. I figured, I could at least sleep in the parking lot, or at least sleep in your driveway. I mean, if you don't want
If
to
you just fly down to my house, then we can just jump in a car together and go.
There you go. Perfect.
So what
Northwest.
we're saying is people need to find friends to do road trips all across the country for Cache Odyssey.
Without a doubt.
And use Cache Tour.
Well, we just showed you can do the whole Northeast region in a day and a half. So come on.
Yeah.
So
John will have your pizza ready at 2:05 the second day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's do it.
So I removed the draft status, and I made it a active tour. So now it shows up on my phone. See that? And now I can tell it, and then you download it. There's a button for download. So I clicked on download.
Mm-hmm.
So I downloaded those. Those. Now when I go into this, it shows me the caches and it shows me the times that I built. And it's all on your phone now. So it's ready to go.
That's cool.
Like
That's really cool.
See how it shows
It
the
looks like
times
there's a
now,
lot
too?
in the app as well.
Oh my
There's a lot
gosh,
you can do
yes.
even in the app.
Yeah, it's there's so many cool things in there. I love it for counties because I can do a quick look at it and I can say, and I can look at my list and I can say, I need to make sure that all these caches, all these counties are listed. And so you can look at that and boom, you got all your counties listed for your county trip. So there you go. What were some comments that you guys saw that you wanted to bring up?
I think
Since I was on the
so Burnt Turtle says, does it alert you if you have skipped one? And I think you're going to know if you're going from cache to cache in that order, you're not going to skip one because it's mapping you as you go.
Part of it too,
I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Part of it's too is helpful is when you go through your list and if you were to skip one, for example, by mistake, you'll see it because when you click on it, you're going to tell it that you arrived and departed, and you notice that then it changes the look of it, and it also marks it's got the time on there that you did it. Now, if you were to skip, say, Vermont, and you accidentally went to Maine and you did arrived and departed, there's no green on the departed on.
Yeah, so it'd be hard to miss because there's going to be a visual reminder that you're getting every single one of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary, there was a very important question in here from Bell on the Move. He said, that's pretty cool, but what is the best pizza near each cache? You can add those pizza places, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you could. You can add restaurants in there, stops along the way, I know.
Really? That really? Is that where we're...
It's important, Gary. You know, I mean, we all got to get caches and get our food. Yeah, and welcome everybody to Pizza Odyssey, which is the logical conclusion, logical sequel to Cache Odyssey on here.
Oh my goodness!
Obviously. Now here's one that's really advanced, and I don't think it's there yet. But is there a way to do counties you need automatically, like the tour is already going through these counties list? So this is a workaround to that, but Cachely will show which counties you've done as you're caching through, and you can definitely set up a bookmark list for those for all the missing ones, and then import it directly in there. So you would be able to roundabout do that, but there's not an automatic way to do it, but maybe in the future there will be.
Yeah, something that remember, if you set it up offline into a list, you can import the list. So you can double check yourself in a couple of ways. The other thing too, I didn't want to get into tonight because again, I wanted everybody to get back into using, or if they have never used it, I want you to start using it. But it integrates with geocaching.com and it integrates with Project GC. So you can look at project as you do it in project. Pardon me, as you set up things in Project GC, you can then see your route that you have created in Cachetur will show up on Project GC. It's called Tamper Monkey. There's a lot about that we can do in more advanced. We talked about it. If you go back and look at some of our go through our old shows and look, we can talk a little bit about Tamper Monkey, which is a snap in that gives you some more options for that. Yeah, there you go. Exact. Velena's got it. So,
and I think there's maybe a way. I know with Jasmer and DT there is. You can hit the little button at the bottom in Project GC and it'll say, find me ones that are missing to help me solve this.
Correct.
Yep. I don't know if there is for counties, but you could take that list right from there and send it over. You can make that as a bookmark list and just put it straight into Cachetur and go for them. Whichever challenge you're working on to solve, there's a lot of plugins that go together.
Yeah. Well, and I like what you guys are saying too, because I mean, you're saying you don't have to like the Cache Odyssey Northeast is a good example, but you don't have to use that for like a more than a day trip. You could use
Yeah, you
that
can
for
just do
like
it
a
around
day
town.
trip, even. Yeah, around town
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm interested to see how, because I haven't done it before, how the lab caches work in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to play with that
So
a little bit and see how that turns out.
absolutely. There's an option within there to you can add and it'll it treats them like a a stop as well, it's so yeah, but it's
Will it do
there's
them
a
out of order? You know what I mean? Like when they're crisscross? I'd be interested to see how that works, because a lot of the labs now are still on top of each other. You have to like switch
yes.
back and forth.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting to try to see how it would do so if we
Might
want
have
to
to
take a
play with
quick
that a little bit and see what it'll do.
yeah, we don't have time to really get in, but I will show you real quick what happens with this is a start to the same map, and what it's going to do is let me widen out. I guess that's what I'm trying, not log out, widen out. So this is our current tour, and I've chosen an option on the to search for lab caches.
Oh,
So if you
here.
click on search for lab caches, it's going to search for them, and it's going to bring them all up. So here's all the lab caches just around John. There's all the lab caches there.
Yep.
Is where it started. It went to the first one, so that's why they're all.
Now, can you add those to your
There's all the ones around you, John.
trip?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that looks right.
yeah. You could add all these. You can do what's called
Oh my
import.
gosh.
You can import stages to the trip right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why are you
so you
looking
can
for
click
Jesse
on there
another
and you can say
500
import.
caches rest stop?
That's what we need. Yeah. Where's another one of those?
Yeah.
I need that.
Well, I don't know. There's quite a few around your area. But anyway, if you go look, let me back out and let me go back to the to our trip, and you'll see that I've imported this one right here down. You see that one down here?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
nice.
see it. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
imported. It did an import of it.
Yeah, it's interesting though that it did it as one location. I wonder if that's because
You're
that's
right.
a sequential one, or
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know on that
Not
one if that
sure.
one's sequential or not.
well, that's people's
Yeah.
assignment and homework. Go find out if it's sequential, if it's all five, if it's just locations, how it would do. I'd love to see what a lab cache only cache tour trip would look like.
Oh man, that would be wild.
That's it.
thought
Oh, well,
about
she says you can bulk import.
Yep.
We both hit it at the same time.
No, fine. Yeah, you can bulk import them. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I knew there was that as well. So I just happened to notice though that there was a button for that as well. So, yeah, yep. Thanks. Yep, Velena's right. You can.
I'm going to try that just to do it
GSAC.
for one day.
Is that going to be like your and Barry's new trip next year? It's just all lab caches?
You could do a trip all of lab caches. You really could.
Yeah,
you could.
My only problem would be this: passing up real or other. I say real. You know what I mean? Passing up real caches while you're doing lab caches. It would be so hard. It'd be hard to do. It'd be fun to like say I went on a trip and only did lab caches, but at the same time, you drove by real caches at the same time. It's gonna be hard to.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Unless you're just in an area that you don't want to cache in, or you can go back to. It'd be hard to only do labs.
Yeah, I think I've always think of labs secondary. I guess y'all do too, probably.
Unless you're doing one of those big long tours where they have like Route 66 or whatever, and you're just hitting tons of labs. It'd be hard to drive by real caches all the time.
Yeah. Correct.
Regular, I don't know what to call them. Physical caches,
Yeah. The other time that we sort of the only thing that comes to mind was Super Nate and I were in Longview at the Texas Challenge, and he and I we were downtown because they were about to have the finishers event. Well, we got there early enough, and he came into town early enough that he and we went and did some caches, but then we went downtown and we walked around the several blocks around the downtown area, and we must have done four more than that, I guess. We did many adventure labs fully. We've completed just by walking around this area.
Yeah.
And the trick, of course, now, we're Cachely folks. I know not everybody is, but if you're an iPhone user, we do recommend Cachely, because the cool thing was we didn't have to determine, this is for another show, I know, but we didn't have to figure out, well, what tour is this one with, or what tour is that one with? Nate's on with us. Is Nate and I would just go, what's the next one? And he'd pull it up and I'd pull it up and we'd keep going. And it would sort of naturally work itself out that we completed these without ever pulling up. We never had to go and figure out, okay, we're at an adventure lab spot. What adventure lab does this one go with? We never had to do that because
it actually makes that a lot easier for sure.
Yeah, it does. It does.
For overlapping labs. We should probably do a show on that at some point.
We probably need to. So Nate says his goal is for 30% of my
30% of his overall cache total to be adventure labs.
Oh, okay.
There's an easy way to do that. Just don't do adventure labs.
No, exactly. Yeah, he mentioned it's awesome. Yeah.
So on your workflow, I'm kind of curious your workflow, Gary. So on this one, like at what step are you sharing your caches with other people on your crew? Are you sharing them at the point when they're in cache tour? Are you sharing them with like a bookmark list beforehand, and then after you share them that way, then you're getting them in cache tour? Like what's your steps?
Sure. It of course depends on your group and what your goals are, but what I do is once we've sort of determined where we're going to cache, what I'll do is whoever, and again, do it however you want in your group, but I usually in our group, I'm the one that goes and finds all the caches. Now I have the criteria of what everybody else wants. So I kind of know that, Darren wants favorite points. He wants high favorite point geocaches. So I obviously look in the list and find that. TP Conductor's retired, so I got to be careful not to find a bunch of caches that he's already found. So I want to find, for my criteria, a list of caches that, and I can filter for that as well. So, but then what I'll do is once I create it, I will send them all a bookmark list, and they will put it on their phone. So they'll all have it. Randall, TP Conductor, he is an Android user, so it's easy, and it's easier to send him just a bookmark, and he can then create his own for his phone. The other guys will just have it. If I send them a bookmark list, that usually is probably to me is the easiest. Instead of trying to do a GPX, and then back in the day, you had to download the GPX and you had to get it on your on your phone that way, or if you're not using a phone, well, you can invite them.
If they all have cache tour, you can just share the cache tour with them, right? I mean,
you can,
they could all do that as well.
Depends on that's more of the dynamic of your group. If you want it to be a group that everybody contributes to, which is fine. I mean, you could do that, and you could have everybody sort of,
building a group, which is not a bad idea, right? If you're building a group trip and everybody wants to kind of put in there the stuff that they think is their high priority, that's something we need to talk about. That's like if all three of us were going to do a trip and we made this one tour, and like she's saying, put co-hosts for it, we can add our priorities on there to make sure all three of us hit our priorities for the list. So we did the
Exactly.
tour. I like that a lot. That's
I do
that's
too.
an interesting idea.
And that's kind of goes back to like, well, with you and Barry. I mean, I'm sure Barry has things that he wants to do that maybe you're like already.
But we've never really done it like this. We may have to try that for another trip coming up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there may be a cache, like you said before, there may be a cache that like I don't need because I've already got whatever. I may, maybe that's not. I'm always going to use Jasmine. Let's say Fizzy, for example. Let's say I've got Fizzy done. Maybe somebody in the group is like 3 short or 2 short of finishing Fizzy. And it was like, oh, can we go do this cache? Because, it's going to complete Fizzy. Well, sure. Let's add that to the tour. Let's get them in there. So, and there are many ways. She said, like Velena's saying, there are ways.
Yeah, there's tons of ways to do it. It's just another tool in your toolbox, right?
Yeah, you can export, you can import several different ways. You can import from a GPX, you can import from a bookmark, a pocket query. You can then also take and you can export your whole list out. So you can send it to, you can export to a bookmark list. You can send out, you can export the cache notes if you need that. You can export all the corrected coordinates. Like if you have a bunch of, we have somebody in our group that is our sort of puzzle guy. Mm-hmm. And so if he has completed a couple of the puzzles, then he can send us, hey, this particular cache I've completed, therefore here are the corrected coordinates. And you can add the corrected coordinates right in there and it will update your cache tour so that you're not going to the fake coordinate for the puzzle, and you can go the actual coordinate, and then you can figure out your trip that way. So that's important.
It is a pretty advanced tool for sure, and can definitely save you some time with planning.
Yeah, it's huge. It's really huge. To me, it's well worth it to do, and so everybody get in there and make you start using it, and you'll be happy with it. And don't get overwhelmed. Just use the ones I've shown you tonight, and then later you can kind of start to add in the little things later. But at least get a trip, or even if it's something simple, like you're just going to go, a couple counties over and do 5 caches over there. Go ahead and use Cache Tour and just sort of and then determine on your, I think it'd be important to do that because you can then know whether you think Cache Tour's timing is right, because that's important for longer trips. If it estimates properly, then you can go, okay, I can trust their estimates for my trip. So cool. All right, good. Hope that was helpful for everybody. Thanks for for all the chat room comments were great. And thanks for Mark coming on tonight as well to give us updates. So
exciting.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff, man.
We're good. Well, everybody have a great week and stay warm. Well, Jesse will stay warm.
Yeah.
The rest of us won't. We got snow. Pray for us. We got snow coming to Dallas area.
Snow, Gary? You got snow? Do you even know what that is?
And no, I have no idea. So when it gets here, John, I'm going to call you and go, what do I do now? Do I?
Yeah. Call me right away. I'll walk you through it.
In Texas, you just stay in your house because y'all don't have any snow plows.
We don't have snow anything. We don't have snow shovels. We don't have snow anything. So we're gonna, and plus, people don't know how to drive. People don't know how to drive anywhere anyway, let alone with snow and ice on the road.
No doubt.
So, all right, y'all have a good night and a good week, and we'll see you next time.
Night.
Okay, take care, everybody.
May your finds be many, and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.